Look at that. Even when the darkness seems to be fading away, it always comes back. What's up, guys? Beckons here, and we want to do a breakdown / review for chapter 425 of My Hero Academia, which is known as Out of Season. And ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we may not be ending this anytime soon. As a lot of people are pointing out. I'm sorry. I kind of just treat it like this is where ending, we only got 4 more chapters left. But I don't know. Y'all right. It seems like we may be entering a new arc, a new era. My Hero Shippuden, My Hero the second year. Then we're going to have My Hero the third year. Then we're going to have My Hero the college days. Then we're going to have My Hero the movie. And then we're going to, we already had My Hero the movie 7 times over. But still, I'm intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued. But let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Enemy, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. That ain't another fun fact. Midori, you should just go bald, bro. Like as an individual, here's the thing. It's still admittedly a little bit messed up back there. But y'all know, I had my bald era. And of course, it was rough. It was horrid. Whenever I see those videos, whether it be on my other platforms or here, whenever I see those videos pop up, I hate the ball there. But Midoriya, dog, that cut's not for you, my G. That cut is not for you. You need to go ball. You need to go ball right now. In fact, Midoriya, you're still strong enough for Midoriya. Let me help you go ball. But that aside, you can check out the 20-minute live reaction to this very chapter over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You become a member for as little as $3 a month to check out the 20-minute live reaction. But that aside, we are opening with the graduation ceremony, and we see everyone slowly but surely graduating. The third years in particular, and I'll admit, they kind of go in order of how much I. How do I put this? They go in order in how they're presented in terms of how much I like them. I'm kind of sad with Amajiki a bit. I was really hoping, going through 2 whole actual awards would give bro a little bit more confidence. The fact that he's still being reduced to this gag, it's a conflict of interest that we're going to talk about a lot in this chapter. Progressing the character a lot versus still keeping their core traits and the difficulty that is. Because, character development, I wouldn't say it's antithetical to destroying the base traits of a character. I'm thinking of, some of my favorite cases of character development in recent memory. Itadori from JJK. I can't say too many more without spoilers. Even technically, that's a spoiler. But essentially, you can still definitely keep the core of the character while keeping their character development intact. I feel like Amajiki, ever since he's been introduced, literal 7 years ago at this point. That's the overall arc. That's the 100s. It's been 300 plus chapters since we were introduced to Amajiki. But literally, we've been with this character for a long time, and a lot of part of his journey is overcoming that insecurity and self-scaredness and the worriedness and all that. So to see him still, shake it and make it and be it all together, it's fine. It's not like an insult or anything, but you could still have a moment like this. But just have him stand up straight and have him take it. But you could have his hand shaking or something. His whole body shaking and him saying potatoes. Dog, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit not necessarily regressive. Because once again, we're gonna run into this problem 4 more times in this very chapter alone. And it's a hard sell. Don't get me wrong. Once again, I'm not a writer professionally. I'm not trained or anything in writing. Last time I took an English literature class was Sweet Mother Mercy. I don't want to say how long it's been. I'm going to reveal how old I am. But, well, y'all know I'm old. But with that being the case, I'm not professionally trained. I have my undergrad and my master's in 2 completely separate fields from writing. But I feel like there are ways you could write around it. And you could still do both. In fact, there's a good example of it later in this very chapter. And here's the thing. I know Tamaki Amajiki's not the most important character. In terms of narrative relevance, if I were to do a tier list, he'd probably be a C tier at best. And that may be highballing it. He may be a D tier, because MHA has a lot of characters with varying levels of importance. Heck, 1A, our main group of characters, has a bunch of D tier characters in terms of general importance. But with that being the case, I like the character. He's actually one of my favorites. I really like the big 3 in general as a group, despite how dirty they're done in their introductory arc and afterwards. But still, I wish Amajiki got a little bit more. Especially considering I'm still 50-50 on how much more we're going to see of these characters. Especially now that they're graduated, they aren't going to be in the school setting anymore. Of course, we're still likely going to run into them because this chapter does sort of set up a, not necessarily like a road trip arc, but like characters moving about the nation a lot. So we're probably still going to run into him again. We're probably going to still see more of Amajiki. But still, considering this is his big moment, graduation's really, really big for students, if you can't tell. I kind of wish he got a little bit better. However, Nejire has a nice, sweet little moment here. She's very excited to be finally graduating, and we see her whole fan club freaking and geeking. And gosh darn it, y'all, stop being down bad. But, you know, I'm happy. Once again, Nejire is a character. Is her hero name just Nejire? Am I tweaking? Or did she, after all this time, still never actually get a hero name? Nejire Hado, hero name. What is her hero name? Nejire Hano's pro hero name and the popular My Hero name is Nejire-chan. I'm sorry. Hoary man. And this probably, once again, I need to do a reread. At this point, I need to just do a full comprehensive reread. I need to take notes. I need to open a Google Doc as I go and just be like, this fact is important for the character. This fact is important for the character. But like, especially out of the big three, considering how important both Tamaki's name and Labillion's name, well, Mirio's name, are to their characters and what it means for their arcs and how other people have affected them. I'm kind of sad that they get cool names and histories and backgrounds, while Nejire's whole background is, oh, I felt lonely because I was strong. Then I found other people who were strong. I wasn't lonely anymore. Also, I don't really have a hero name. It's just my name. It's a little whack. Like, you couldn't even put a spin on it. It's literally just Nejire-chan. Like, at least for... And you know what? Funny enough, Ida having his name just be Ida, at least for a while. I think he became Ingenium. At least that had a reason. Bro was in mental conflict at the time when he was initially choosing his name. So that makes sense. But, man, Nejire, just the... one of the done dirtiest characters in all of MHA, in my opinion. I literally have like that script has been written down for like a year or two. I don't think I'll ever record that video just because of how negative it is. And I don't like being, shockingly enough, I know a lot of my people who watch my MHA reviews are like, Pencil, you don't like being negative? Are you sure about that? But like, I don't like being negative. And then that whole video is just like nothing but straight negativity. And even then, my opinion has changed on a lot of that script in a while now. So I'd have to like rewrite the whole thing. And I don't think I'm doing all that. But let's see. We do see, and another detail that like that President Mike is ultimately feeling bad that they didn't really get to have a normal graduation. Their whole experience as students hasn't been normal. But especially considering the fact that realize they did all this for free. Of course, that's the way of a true hero. But they got nothing but pain, trauma, and debt. As a wise man once said, yes, you are no longer a student. You are now unemployed. Like, now it is broke. As in, literally their bones are broken. And actually, they may be just straight up broke. They did all that fighting in the war, and they have nothing to show for it. So yeah, it's a really rough scenario all around. Doing all that, and to have the main thing you've been looking forward to for all these years be thrown away in their graduation. Or at least different from normal. However, we see President Mike is still willing to push the level a little bit. And he takes the graduation to a festival-style sort of concert rave thing, which is nice. I mean, that's neat. Notably, I just had traditional graduations whenever I went to mine, but I all found that, you know. You don't need to get chaotic and crazy with everything. But obviously, this is a hero school with President Mike as the MC. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna go absolutely insane. But with it being the case, we see the different levels of students are just like, what in the world? Well, no, the third years have accepted it. The second years have gotten mostly used to it, while the first years are just generally confused, which is adorable. But with it being the case, we see that they finally managed to get their graduation in June, and everyone is having a pretty good time. But once again, going back to the idea that ultimately the kids really they went through it. It's I'm glad that it's actually being mentioned, right? That's one of the things I'm really glad about. That yeah, they're still wounded. Not much time has passed in universe. They're just barely recovering. We're gonna find out another character should, legally speaking, still be in the hospital because how little time has passed. They are celebrating, but there's really not much time for that. They can do this for a moment and then must immediately go back to the front lines. As Tamaki asks, hey, do your wounds still hurt? And Nedry says, a little bit, but I'm so happy that I feel fine. How weird. And it's revealed that Mirio, the one person who, thanks to his quirk, managed to avoid a whole bunch of the damage, he kept taking care of us. They were basically babied and watched over by Mirio after they got, I'm not going to say jobs. It's like, what we really expect them to do against all Faraki. But still, that's sweet. That's very, very sweet. Once again, they're really... Once again, I've changed my mind on how I'd write the overhaul arc to some degrees, but that video I made years ago now still stands in how I'd mostly rewrite the overhaul arc. I still think it should have been a big 3 central arc. Like, literally them winning too, not just giving it to Infinite 100% Midoriya. Because that's kind of their only moment. They have moments in each of the respective wars, but they're always supplements. Despite how important this trio is meant to be to UA and the standing and everything like that, it feels like they never really get too much to their own, which is really, really unfortunate. But that's the thing. It's the curse of MHA, right? And it's a blessing and a curse. The scale of MHA in terms of its character size and roster size is that everyone can have their own favorite character. That's the blessing, right? I know people who have Tamaki as their favorite character, people who have Mirio as their favorite character, people who have Nejire as their favorite character, who have Aoyama as their favorite character. The list can go on. There are people like me. Okay, Gang Orca is my favorite character, but there are people like me who really, really love Gang Orca a whole lot, and people who love Endeavor. That's my favorite. But with that being the case, at the same time, due to how the story is structured and the fact that there are important players and less important players, sometimes characters just won't be able to get much. You're going to love the character in spite of their narrative weight rather than because of their narrative weight, unless you are a fan of the more hefty characters. Like, I know there are a bunch of people who have All For One as their favorite character. I respect it, even if I completely disagree, but that's me. It's fine that everyone has their own favorites. So, blessing and a curse. But with that being the case, we see that ultimately the one who's clutched up, the one who's been doing it, the one who's been sort of organizing the world is the rat. Sorry, but Nezu has been organizing and gathering resources and facilitating essentially not just the rebuilding of Japan, but the restructuring and reorganization of the whole world, but mainly Japan, because of his great intelligence. Remember, his quirk is high spec, and not only is his quirk high spec, this guy's a rat! Well, he's a bear, dog, rabbit thing, but he's a rat! Like, he was a lab experiment, or an animal who developed a quirk. He's not a person, which... I know that sounds so bad, but he's legit not. Like, that's a big part of his character. So I like that he, a character who could not fight, who could not really do anything but orchestrate and be in the background and send these kids to war. I do like that he ended up playing a very, very big role in organizing all the funds, pressuring the other countries, doing as much as he could, being a spokesperson, especially in a world where I assume most wouldn't take him seriously. Like, don't get me wrong, how do I put this? If a child came up to me and spit out Shakespeare by knowledge and memory perfectly, I'd be impressed. But I'd be like, darn, kid, you're 5. That's impressive and adorable, but I don't really care to take you seriously. I bet this is the same thing for Nezu speaking across the nations and asking and maybe not even telling them, give resources, help us out. We just saved you from, well, technically, in a roundabout way. Like, if that was obviously I know the other nations would be that bad in this universe in particular. But I like the idea that a nation would be like, you're a rat. Why should I listen to you? But he was able to do it. He was able to convince them. He was able to talk in that way. And that's good. Once again, Nezu, another very background character, heavy background character, but at least he's able to do something like this. Very, very sweet. But with that being the case, we see that this character, Mawata Fuwa, she's apparently way more important than I thought. I think. She's appeared in the anime, and she's the class representative? Great farewell address by the student's representative. Put your hands up. So, she's appeared before. My brain, I don't know. Obviously, because MHA has been going on for literally a decade now. Has it been a decade? When did MHA started getting serialized? It's either 2014 or 2016. When did MHA come out? When was it? May 5th, 2018. Oh, wow. Really? 2018? 2018? Nah, it can't be 2018. The MHA manga come out. Hold on. No way it's 2018. It feels like it's been way longer than that. Yeah, okay. July 7th. So, wow. In a month, it'll be 10 years. 10 years of publication for MHA. I knew it. I was like, my brain was like, wait, what? No way it was 2018. But yeah, July 7th, 2014 is when MHA first came out in Shonen Jump. Hori's been making this manga for 10 years. It seems like he's going on for longer. Shout out to Hori, bro. I know a lot of people give Hori a lot of flack, myself included, on his writing front. But no, that man's goated. 10 years of manga production. I know the One Piece fans are gonna be like, you want to talk about a real story of manga production? Or really any of the big three authors. Because, like, yeah, technically, for right now, they all blow Hori out the water. Like, what, the shortest of them is still 200 chapters longer? Like, I think, what is shorter? Is Bleach or Naruto shorter? I think Bleach is the shortest of the big three. And even that's 600 plus chapters. And notably, that's continuing soon, too. But, well, not soon. Whenever Kubo feels like it. But let's see. Oh, all that to say, yeah, I literally do not remember this character. You could literally have put this character in front of me before I read this chapter and be like, do you remember this character? And I'd be like, they're from MHA? For what a straight gone there. But with it being the case, we see the students being excited based on how, essentially, this is not just being formulated like a concert, but now a rap battle in terms of people coming and giving their farewell addresses. But Mirio comes up, and I'm gonna read Mirio's speech straight, because once again I do think this is a good example of the character conflict I mentioned earlier with Amachiki, developing the character and showing how serious they are versus, keeping their spirit. And Mirio goes on to say, I'm very grateful for everyone who managed to open up some space on their busy schedules to come here today. We lost many things and gained none. A hero's battle is often about turning a minus back to a zero. The general education course, the support course, and the management course. Each one of them made full use of what they learned here, and fought as one, single group. However, we're still not even back to zero. The last 3 years were to prepare us for what lies ahead. Our goal will not be reached today. A world without humor has no bright future, so a world of pluses, a world where everyone can spend their days smiling, is our real finish line. Tokata! Watch me. Night. And then he does this. Today's the day we start. And my dear underclassmen, see ya! I probably should look this up. I ain't going to. I don't know. It's a weird... I don't know. If someone can tell me what this is a reference to, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm getting Tom Holland vibes. Like that umbrella dance he did. Based on how Mirio's dressed and just this aesthetic. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure what this means. But, yeah. Mirio... Once again, and it's the big character conflict that I had way back when. I say way back when because I think it's been like 2 years since that video came out. When Mirio threw it back, I was very, very, very disappointed in the character. And disappointed in Hori for writing the character that way. I'm a huge gargantuan Mirio fan. He's not my favorite character, but he's definitely within like my top 5. And if I'm feeling real devious and kick him out of the top 5, he's never leaving the top 10. But I felt really bad for the character because I felt like the character who had a super serious moment and was really, really into that, it felt weird. Even if it did play into the humor aspect of the character and how important that is to the character and the ties back to Night, I still felt like reducing the character to throwing it back in a circle was really, really, really degrading. And technically, to a certain degree, this is also degrading, but it seems like he's doing this on purpose. Once again, it's the balance. It's the balance of showing that Mirio can genuinely be serious. He can genuinely acknowledge how much was lost and how, while he may not have suffered too much physically because of his quirk, many others did. As was mentioned earlier, a lot of their wounds are still healing. The world is still in disarray. They still have so much work to do from all the different battles and the destruction that was caused. And as is going to be revealed, the crime that has spiked up massively because of the disorganization. Heck, they happened after the first war. It's happening again. But it's the balance. Mirio was able to be serious. He was able to address all that. But at the same time, he was able to still have fun. Now, this is a very destructive amount of fun. But, fun is fun. And we see... Apparently there was a UA graduation tradition. I don't get it. Probably won't. I appreciate anyone who can help me with that. But once again, very sweet moment. And I do like how Mirio's seriousness as a character was balanced out with his humor. Even if it's a humor that I don't get. But then again, I never really got a lot of Mirio's jokes, so that's on me. But with that being the case, we cut to Class 2A. Golly gee willikers. It took 400 plus chapters for them to get to their second year, bro. That is wild. But we are finally here in Class 2A. And technically, they still aren't even Class 2A, kind of. But we see that, as Aizawa says, in a regular scenario, he would be getting a new homeroom teacher. But as you know, things aren't exactly normal. So, here's to another year. So the GOAT Aizawa is still gonna be teacher. He's another top 5 character. Who is my top 5? Who is my MHA top 5? Off the top of my dome. Obviously, this will be specific. Do not hold me to this, but Endeavor's still my number 1. I really, really like Endeavor. I really, really like Hawks. I really, really like Aizawa. I really, really like Mirio. And who's number 5? This is the only one that's ordered is Endeavor at 1. I'd have to think longer about the rest of the ordering. Who's my number 5? Is it All Might or Bakugo? I think Bakugo. I really, really like Bakugo. I really, really like All Might, too. But actually, I'm still not the biggest fan of Iron Might as a concept, so I'm going to give it to Bakugo. I'm going to flat out give it to Bakugo. So yeah, that's my top 5 characters. And if you're wondering where Midoriya is, he's top 10. I think he's top 10. He might be top 10. It's hard for an MC to escape my top 10. I'll admit, because they get so much screen time. But we see that they're all excited to have Aizawa still continue to be their teacher. Miwa? JJK? Simple to me. But Mina's even flat out crying over the fact that they're still connected. And obviously, that goes into the fact that while it was still something that came relatively out of nowhere, and I still don't care about to this day, I don't care how many Midnight fans are mad at me, obviously Mina was one of the most heavily affected by the loss of Midnight as a teacher, as a sensei. So being able to keep one of her senseis, one of the people that carried them through this entire traumatic experience, is very, very sweet. What? Minetta, why are you crawling on the desk, bro? Get down, you freak! But let's see. However, once again, like I mentioned earlier, a certain someone from the hospital's here. Well, that settles things for now. Hey, shouldn't you be at the hospital? They said I'll be fine as long as I stay calm. Plus, everyone had to come to school today. You're being surprisingly reasonable. Huh? Calm, remember? Once again, it goes to the hard difficulty of writing. How do you develop a character, yet keep a character a character? Bakugo. I mean, it's a minor moment. Once again, it's very quick, but I would prefer Bakugo just didn't respond. If you could do ... You could have him grumble thanks. You could do anything, but having him freak out, like, come on now, bro. Like, or Sarah, come on now, bro. Like, you could just let my boy be. You can let my boy be. Why have to do my boy like that? That's my son. That's my out of all the MHA kids, if there's one I've adopted, it is Bakugo. That's my son. That's my child. But with that being the case, we see that I was like, hey, calm it, and they all calm down. But we see he calls in one person. It's Oyama. I came to say adieu, because I'm leaving UA. Hallelujah. That thing is finally gone. Oh, let him free. Let him free. I don't want to see that thing, that beast, that ugly no work. Have him free, get him gone right now. I need him gone right now. I know all 2 Ayama fans out there are gonna be like, Pencil, how could you? He's a traitor. But his parents were, I don't care, he's a traitor. But no, he's a traitor. You put my life at risk. We can't be copacetic no more. Like, I don't know. Well, once again, completely different scenarios. But like, I can't imagine if one of my friends, especially someone I trusted, someone I live with, and they revealed, BT Dubs, this entire time I've actually been risking your life and my life. Especially yours, though, because you didn't consent to this at all. Like, I don't mind. Here's the thing. I don't mind doing life risking stuff if I want to. Like, for example, like, I climbed a waterfall once, but, you know, I wanted to do that, so I risked my life to do it. I'll ride my bike with no hands. I'll just pedal and use the Zen forces of the universe to balance myself. I'll risk that. I'll ride my bike in the street. I'll risk that. I'll risk my life with my consent. Ayama, though? Yeah, he has with no consent, buddy. Yeah, come on now. I don't care if it's useful a little more. Because we see Jiro bring up, oh, Yama, I had a feeling, but why didn't you change your mind? And then Kirishima's like, you're the reason we could split up All for One's group, which worked out mostly. And we see Aoyama says, I saw Sensei and Tsukachi-kun said the same thing. They told me I could stay, but I want to make amends. I came to the school because All For One ordered me to. I don't have a right to attend an event such as the graduation ceremony. I'll atone for my crimes and try becoming a hero once again, but I'll be fine. I took my friend's hands after all. Leave. And get and you know a detail that I like, once again I can't tell, maybe Midori does eat it. I like how Midori does not eat the cheese. Because one, it was in his pocket. Nasty. And two, no. I don't know, like, even, like, I don't know. Sob stories only do for so much for me when my life or people I care about's lives are in danger. I won't even say I feel bad. I just don't like it. I just don't like Aoyama. And the cheese stuff is weird. He's a strange character. I don't know. Not one who I've seen grow on others, and I know even friends of mine who've really, really, really come to like, if even love Aoyama's character. Me, though? You can call me heartless all you want. I don't like him. But he's a weirdo. Keep him away from me. Keep that freak, that animal, that beast, that creature. Keep him away from me. That monster. That ballistic beast. Stay away from me, please. I'm begging. But with that being the case, we see Midoriya go, yeah. And we see Aoyama say, I'm sure that one day I'll feel pride standing right next to them. And yeah, this cuts back to Aizawa and Aoyama's own conversation. And we see Kirishima lie as he says, Aoyama, man, you're the manliest of us all. No. No, he isn't, Kirishima. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. He's not more manly than you. He's not more manly than Jiro. He's not more manly than Kaminari. He's not more manly than any of you. He's less manly than Mineta. I'll be honest. I'll be completely real. Come on now. And he's definitely not manlier than Midoriya. Or Bakugo. Infinitely less manly. That man, negative manliness. He's in a manliness deficit. What's that thing? And people keep saying like aura now. If you want to talk about aura, Aoyama, you're so deep in the depths of negative aura, I don't think you could ever recover. Not in 1,000 years. But we see Aoyama declare, don't you dare cry, guys. I hate getting all moody. And he starts blasting everywhere. And we see that apparently he's gotten way better at controlling it than they did at the Culture Festival. And he comes with a surprise. The surprise of Shinso. Look at gang. I'm happy he's here. Class A got a new member. And everyone's bamboozled to see, Shinso? You came to Class A? And I love how Shinso's like, whoa, people, overstimulation. Please back down. I get it. But we see that now that Shinso's here, they're like, oh, hallelujah. The traitor's gone. An actual person we can trust. What an amazing thing. And they immediately go, Hero Course, you're one of us now. That's awesome. Did you get an official provisional license? And once again, I can't get over the fact that none of them got paid for this. I'm sorry. I'm way too monetarily focused on something like this. But Tom, what? Midoriya did all that, and him and his mom are still broke. Where's Hisashi Midoriya? But with it being the case, we see Aoyama immediately gets disappointed. And he's like, shouldn't you be planning my farewell party? This is why I don't like the character. He's a terrible person. He's a terrible human being. He's whack. He's whack. His fit, whack. His quirk that wasn't his, whack. Him putting everyone in danger, whack. His entire personality, whack. And once again, this is the conflict of, okay, we want character development, but we got to keep the core of the character. But once again, unlike Mirio, where I think it succeeded earlier, kind of like Bakugo, this just outright fails. Aoyama, take it in stride. If anything, he should have just smiled, nodded, and stepped out. You got to pay. You got to atone. Even if it wasn't of your own free will, you undertook those actions. Now you got to pay for those actions, buddy. Everything in life comes with a cost, so should be ready to pay that toll. But oh no, now we got to plan your farewell party. You plan it. I wouldn't attend. No, I'm not. But let's see. I'm sorry for you because I spat in the mic. If I was Aoyama, I just straight at him. But we see that Hagakure is sad. And she's showing her face. Once again, I don't know. This is a gimmick that's definitely like just lost its luster. Like, now it's just normal. I like Hagakure. I know what you look like. Unfortunately, in way too much detail because of Ori. So, like, whatever. Once again, I don't really care. But I guess it's fine. I'm glad that she's starting to connect with her people more. Once again, putting aside my biases to like the indifference of the gimmick. That sounds biases to the indifference. That's not a thing, pencil. But I'm glad that her friends are starting to know the real her, especially considering this is the true her. They're actually finally getting to see her rather than her just being invisible. That's sweet. I mean, that has to ruin it immediately, though. Once again, another case of the character. Yeah, you developed Mineta, but you're still Mineta. How unfortunate. But with it being the case, we see Aizawa say, "Hey!" and calm everyone down as Maiwatsu Fuwa explains the next arc, essentially. And she says, "The second and third years of the Hero Course will be helping with reconstruction for the time being. We'll be operating under my leadership." Who are you? What is your quirk? What is your quirk? What do you have to offer? Let me know. Let me know Maiwatsu Fuwa. What do you have to offer? Buddy? Pal? What is your quirk? Unknown quirk. However, given she's a second-year hero student, her quirk is likely very strong and trained by Shota. You don't even know. Who are you? Your leadership, what qualifications do you? I have no idea who you are. But we see that she says, and aside from taking part in restoration efforts, we'll also be traveling the country to fight against the aggravating crime. That's the big thing. Once again, due to the nature of the world right now, yeah, they gotta still all that for no money. They don't get paid. This is volunteer work. I could never. I just got my provisional hero license. Just slide me some money in my manga. But with it being the case, we see that as explained, All Might's retirement, and of course the Janku battle. After the great battles that get included in every textbook, there's always a period of chaos that isn't so well documented. And that's true. That's true to form, even in our world. But we see that Todoroki realizes the lack of a symbol. All for One was born under such circumstances. Oh yes, indeed he was. But so was One for All. So maybe it's gonna be a new One for All that needs to rise up. Because right now we ain't got nothing to fight another All for One if it shows up. But we see that Fuwa apparently has some dynamic with Eraserhead, and he's the reason she wanted to become a hero because she was expelled at first by him. Okay. Well, I don't know the character. I don't know. My brain just glitching, and I don't know. Based on the wiki page, which is approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I mean barely 5 paragraphs. That's it. She's not a character. But with it being the case, she goes off. And I do like how Aizawa says, "You're welcome." Because, he's still proud of his students. But with it being the case, we see Midoriya, who's been silent. Notably, I haven't pointed it out, but Midoriya, throughout this chapter, he's been appearing. He's been definitely appearing. He's here, but he's quiet. He shows up again, I believe, at the graduation ceremony one more time. Yeah, during the speech, he's here, but he's quiet. And I think he show up? He's here once again, but he's quiet. Once again, Midoriya here, but he's quiet. Actually says yeah. But remember, Midoriya needs to be banned, kicked out. He needs to leave it Aoyama. That boy quirkless. Obviously, you clearly don't need a quirk to be a hero, or at least not a high level hero, yeah, and deal with high level threats. But you don't need it. Like, look at Aizawa. He's just a regular dude. Shinso, outside of his quirk, a regular dude. Ojiro literally just has a tail. Regular dude. Like, most of these guys are just regular dudes. And Midoriya's combat experience should definitely still let him be a hero, but, we'll let it slide. But with it being the case, Midoriya's been quiet this entire time. And we see that they're so bamboozled that now things are actually progressing. Life is, for the first time in what feels like forever, actually moving forward. New first years, huh? We'll be upperclassmen starting from tomorrow. Things are moving at a crazy pace. Yes, we'll be very busy. But, to quote a certain someone, we got a moment's rest. Zero-kun, stop bringing that up. I think that's from her speech from Midoriya? I think? Once again, I don't know. I need to reread. I desperately need a reread of MHA. Well, that's going to take a minute. 400 chapters. Then again, I ate Bleach in like a week. It shouldn't be too long. But with it being the case, we see Midoriya's like, no, she says, you should stop. And Midoriya says, Uraraka-san, what are you talking about? And for some reason, Uraraka switches into French and says, Et tu, Deku-kun? And she's like, oh, by the way, they shaved your hair due to the wounds, right? I hope it grows back soon. Midoriya, it happens to the best of us, girl. Girl, your hair needs to grow. Go bald, bro. Go bald right now. Bro. Go bald. Go bald. Just take the right. I'll do it myself. Midoriya, it'll take a minute. It will take a minute. We're gonna get you bald, buddy. We're gonna get you. I'm gonna unlock the key to a fresh start. So Midoriya, hold still, buddy. it won't hurt a bit. But, dog, you gotta go bald. It is not working. It looks fine from the side. Like this, shoot, had me convinced regular Midoriya was back. But nah, G. Nah, either you gotta even it out or you gotta go bald. And if you have to even it out, go bald, bro. But I do like how Hori's kind of referencing the whole fandom's reaction to Midoriya's new cut, which was far from positive. There are a few people defending it, but like the loud majority, and I feel like just the general majority was like, no, that cut is not the way, my boy. But we see, even Tokiyami got a new haircut. But once again, Midoriya's quiet. He's still likely somewhat, as we saw last chapter, still feeling some type of way about not being able to save Shigaraki, for one. And two, like I mentioned, he's quirkless. That boy don't have no value. He ain't no hero. What kind of hero doesn't even have a quirk? Even Shinso has a quirk. Mineta has a quirk. Uraraka has a quirk. Okay, Uraraka is a bad example. But like, so many people have quirks, Midoriya. But you are just quirkless. Maybe you should go with Aoyama. Maybe you should leave. Once again, I'm assuming those are the two big things on his mind. Still feeling guilty about Shigaraki, which is good character writing. And also just the conflict, because right now he's empty. Presumably he may still have the embers. Maybe. Considering how long All Might's embers lasted. But for all intents and purposes, Deku, the hero who saved the world, the greatest hero in history, he's dead. All that remains is Izuku Midoriya, a boy who can do nothing but watch as his friends get farther and farther away. But, with that being the case, we cut to this interesting little individual. There. And with, seemingly enough, hands soaked in juice and a weird spinal cord, almost looking like a titan, they walk out of a building, walking forward, seemingly leaving destruction in their wake. As they said, the new All for One was born in these circumstances. However, seemingly enough, the figure's hair is turning white. I've seen a lot of theories on who this could be. Some people are saying it's Kurogiri. I'm kind of getting Shigaraki vibes, ironically enough, from the feet in the torn cloak to the hand, the emphasis being placed on the hand, to the hair turning white. But I don't know. I'm fine with whoever this ends up being. If it's our new major villain, that's fine. Once again, we're kind of, at this point, unless All for One makes another comeback, or Shigaraki makes a comeback, or really another comeback, then we kind of have to start from ground zero if we're really going to go into a new era of My Hero Academia. I ain't mad at it. I'll like it. But with it being the case, we see that Midoriya finally speaks up a little bit more. As he asks, "Are you going to the farewell party, Todoroki-kun?" And Todoroki says, "Yeah, as long as it's not today." And Midoriya says, "Hey, Todoroki, it's okay if you don't have to, or don't want to." And Todoroki says, "Don't worry. I can face my fears, alright." And we see Endeavor looking at a machine strapped in a wheelchair that holds his first son, Dabi. It's hard to tell it's Dabi, but apparently, hold on, I'm going to do something. I'm going to turn the brightness all the way up to max. Can I see him? Apparently he's in there. Like, people edited the photo and saw Dabi in there. So, yeah. The Todoroki family subplot still goes strong. So, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. But overall, a W chapter. Ooh, that was so clean. But yes, a very, very W chapter. I like it. It's simple and clean. It wraps up the graduation, sends our heroes on a new path, sets up the journey of this next arc we're going on. And overall, I'm very excited. My Hero Academia is going to be on an extended break, though, unspecified. I'm fine with that. Hori, take all the time you need. Please rest. The manga's over. Or not, the manga ain't over. But take all the time you need, man. There's no rush. Once again, use some of that leverage. Hopefully you do have some leverage with how popular MHA has been. Hopefully you have time to take a break from the anime and the movie and the manga. Just rest, man. You've more than earned it. No matter how I feel about this back chunk of the narrative and how much I don't like a lot of the narrative choices and character choices you made, still peak. Still My Hero Academia. And you still more than deserve your flowers and your rest. So I hope Hori rests well. However, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave Family Feud. Oh yeah, The one with Steve Harvey. Family Feud. In the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come on the channel. Also, I do have to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. You get exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter, which is 20 minutes long, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you come into a $25 Patreon and $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any support at all is always greatly appreciated. But now, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Ocarina Plays, Greyhound, Kids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, King Sukuna, NMA, Real Rare, Paris Arnold, G Prosper, and Red Wolf 4765. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons, Steron, Sean, Sammy, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 patrons, Autumn Mornings Lazo and Fine. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha and Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Metal Solid Crisis, Joaquin Munoz, and Joaquin Munoz, along with Idemokami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.